Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So we haven't done a top 5 video for a while, and with open beta around the corner, we thought we'd be topical and do a video going over some of our choice heroes for new players. Not only going over why you should pick these heroes, but also what problems you may face playing them as well. Firstly, I want to be absolutely clear on what constitutes these heroes being on this list. Overwatch is a game where most of the 21 heroes in the lineup can be picked up fairly quickly, but this isn't a list of the top 5 easiest heroes to play. These are heroes that we have defined as being consistently effective whilst being as simple as possible to play. These heroes also allow players to learn the game as opposed to just playing that specific hero and playstyle. They are also heroes that play in all forms of Overwatch, from the low-level public games to high-end competitive play.
On 5th place we find Symetra. Her main weapon latches onto people on close range, same goes for her sentries as well. So very little aiming is required to be effective. And on top of this, you can easily control choke points by spamming charged up alt fire orbs. By playing Symetra, you'll be able to learn the maps fairly quickly as you place sentries and teleporters all around. If any of your buildables are destroyed, you'll know straight away and you can find a new spot to try out next time. And on top of all this, your tiny chunk of extra shield HP will also help your team passively. But positioning might be difficult when starting off, so be careful and stay back. If you die before your first teleporter goes up, you've already fallen behind. Indifferent from the other supports, you also don't have any healing abilities. Symetra is very effective on almost any map when defending, but maybe not the most optimal pick when playing control. Some of you might be surprised to see Symetra on this list, and to you we also want to clear up why you won't see Mercy on here. When playing Mercy, you'll constantly be healing or damage boosting someone, which might be reassuring to a new player, but don't fall into the habit of picking Mercy every game. Symetra never feels like a bad pick when defending, and Mercy just feels less consistent overall.
At number 4 we have Junkrat. A hero that can be versatile and complex if needs be, but has some very basic and effective core principles. Your grenade launcher is an incredibly powerful weapon which can two-shot any hero with 200 HP. Similar to Symetra, you'll be able to control chokes and objectives when defending by spamming your primary fire around that area. You can experiment with placing traps in various spots, but as long as you're laying down enough damage in a crowded area, you should do fine. The ultimate is also very easy to use and often results in multi-kills. The only real downside to playing Junkrat is that using this grenade launcher at close range can be difficult for new players. If the traps don't catch the flankers, you might struggle to deal with them, and you may need your team to help you. You should play Junkrat mostly when defending or playing control. Your team's damage output will get a big boost from this, and the only thing you'll need to consistently do is lob grenades into a crowded area. Junkrat is the only defensive hero we have on this list, and we've decided not to include Torbjorn and Bastion. Sure, new players definitely have trouble dealing with these two, but playing these heroes is generally not a good way at learning the dynamics of the game. We want to suggest and recommend heroes that will help you understand more aspects of Overwatch by playing simple and effective heroes. Torbjorn and Bastion can also be taken out with these by experienced players. You may rack up a couple of kills against completely new players, but those that have played in the closed beta will have dealt with this before and will pick you off quickly.
Coming in on 3rd place is Reinhardt. I very rarely look at the enemy team composition and think that Reinhardt couldn't possibly be a good pick here. You can get Reinhardt to work on almost any map in any game mode with and against most heroes in the game. You'll be in the front line and can easily see what's going on when going into 3rd person, allowing you to get a good idea of the situation quickly. Make sure to also stay on the payload or objective, as this will allow your team to play objectively while still staying behind cover if needed. Also keep in mind that playing Reinhardt aggressively requires a bit more practice than playing him defensively, but this doesn't mean that you should only run Reinhardt when defending though. Playing defensively just means that you should move forward with your team, keeping your shield up rather than charging in wildly. Make sure to also watch out for flankers and anyone that can get around you easily. Many new players' first reaction is to turn the shield around and defend yourself, but really it's the rest of your team along with your own positioning that should prevent this from happening. Reinhardt is the only tank we'll be covering in this list actually. Winston might seem like someone we should go over, but it's actually a lot more situational. You don't need to aim with the Tesla cannon on close range and you've got a bubble shield to hide in, but you're still not nearly as much of a solid core for your team as Reinhardt is.
Spot number 2 goes to Soldier 76. This is our first hero on the list that actually requires relatively good aim to be effective. But the utility of Soldier along with a very flexible, effective range is enough to put him here. The Helix rocket is a reliable finisher and the biotic field allows you to look after yourself and others without having to make your way over to a support. Soldier can do short, medium and long range damage, and if he runs into issues, it's just a case of sprinting out, healing up and running back in. If It will feel very natural to those that have played FPS games before, but still manages to be interesting and flexible with this playstyle. And do we really need to go over his aimbot and ult? I don't think so. As for all of the other offensive heroes, they are all strong picks if you invest enough time into them. But in reality, these heroes are very subjective and very situational. Everybody wants to play the Tracers and Genjis, we understand that, but the Twitch shooter skills required to play these heroes is pretty high. The fact that you are watching this video shows that you see the bigger picture of Overwatch, that it's not just about chasing kills. It's an objective team game, and Soldier is a solid pick in most situations because of this. Not to mention, lots of people will be playing Genji and Tracer when the game launches, so rather than picking up a second one for your team, you can fill the other offensive gap with playing Soldier 76.
And finally, at number 1 is Lucio. Every time that someone has asked me for a hero that is good to begin with, I've started off by recommending Lucio. You provide so much sustain for your team and can play him on any map and any side. Your ultimate ability can counter numerous enemy ultimates if timed correctly, and can be charged up with ease by taking pot shots at enemies and keeping your team's health topped up. The speed boost is also heavily underrated by many new players and can come in handy to get out of the way of an ultimate or unexpectedly rush at an objective. If you're looking for a hero that can be described as easy to play, effective, reliable and versatile, Lucio is the best for the job. The main problem with Lucio is not only his low damage output, but the low skill cap on the hero. Higher skilled players won't benefit as much from playing Lucio because of this, but Lucio is still an important hero to have. It's just that sometimes he feels underwhelming to play. To support your team, you need to stick around them and just stay alive. Because of this, a lot of the energy that goes into playing Lucio is dedicated to keeping yourself alive while staying with your team. This might not feel as rewarding to you, but it gives consistent results and will mean that you'll win more matches.
And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more Overwatch content and like this video if you want to see more videos like it. Do check in the description below. We have some information on how to play with us when the open beta starts. So do check that out, leave us your details, and we might play with you at some point during the open beta or even when the game launches, just until guilds are implemented into the game. But thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the open beta.